What if you always had someone who you could talk things over with, who was always saying kind and loving things to you, who was always helpful and never judging? Well, you do have someone you can always talk things over with. You have several someones who can only say kind and loving things to you, who are always helpful and never judgmental. Some people call them angels. Some people call them guides. Some people call it your little inner voice. They're there just for you, and just like I did, you can be able to hear them clearly too. Now, it is possible that you have heard this little voice all along, and it is probable that this guidance was there and you just didn't recognize it. I didn't. Does this sound familiar? Has this ever happened to you? You have like an inkling, I'm not even sure it's a thought, but you see a glass sitting on the edge of the counter and you have just a little fleeting thought and you just ignore it, and the next thing you know, it gets knocked off the counter, and while you're cleaning it up, you're thinking, someone told me to move that. Why did I move that? Could that be your inner guidance system speaking to you? Could be. There have been many people who have shared stories that they've heard stop or wait or don't go, or their name being hollered at them, and they heeded this warning and avoided an accident. Could that be the inner guidance? Sometimes it's very faint and sometimes it's stronger, but we're going to talk about how it can become stronger and you can hear it more clearly. Now, I always just refer to that as the little voice that cannot lie. The little voice in my head that cannot lie. And I've always known it's there, but I thought it was my thoughts. But I became aware that there's something else going on when I begin to awaken. Of course, like so many, I had seasons where I just didn't even hear the little voice in my head. I allowed life to just take me over, and I couldn't hear anything but my own frantic thinking and my anxiety thinking and my negativity thinking, and I could not hear any voice in my head. No guidance. Over the course of the years, I have learned to listen to that little voice in my head. Some may call it intuition, others may call it your conscience. That's what I called it for a long time, my conscience. I thought it was my conscience. Remember Jiminy Cricket sitting over here? The little voice in your head? My friends, that is your guides speaking to you, or your inner guidance, or whatever you want to call it, but it is there for you. That is the energy that you can tap into to live at a higher vibrational level for your highest good and the highest good of all. The fact is that inner guidance is there, has always been there, will always be there. It is yours for the asking. You just have to ask. Connect and ask. Connect and listen. Here, I'll cover 3 points to help you connect with your guides or your inner wisdom. The first point is, know the difference between your guides talking to you and your ego talking to you. Now, your ego is yourself, and sometimes it does not say nice things. So the easiest way to tell, is this my inner guidance speaking? Are these my guides speaking to me? Or is this my ego? If you're hearing things that are belittling or not nice or not something you would tell your best friend, that's probably your ego. That is not your guides. Now, you can train your egoic voice. You can retrain it, because we are, for some reason, kind of programmed to think negatively unless you do something consciously to stop thinking negatively. So, as an example, what is your self-talk? Are you saying things to yourself like, oh, I can't believe I did that. I goofed up again. I messed up again. I'm so slow. Why do I procrastinate? You're constantly having this inner self-talk. Don't even get me started on what us ladies say to ourselves when we are getting dressed. But that is ego speaking. And it is not helpful for you. Now, if there's something that you might say like, I can't believe I did that. Let's say you made a mistake. Okay, don't beat yourself up, learn from it, and move on. That is how it's intended to be. But if you continuously beat yourself up for it, you're not helping yourself. So just know that if you're hearing belittling, negative things, that is your ego speaking. That is not your guides. And we will talk more about how to retrain your brain and speak more positively to yourself. The next key point will provide some tips on how to retrain that negative ego. So the second key point in connecting with your guides is to raise your vibration. What does that even mean? Raise your vibration. Well, we are all energetic beings. And this is the best way I can describe so that you can feel it. Have you ever been like completely happy and blissful? Let's say you're at a party, a birthday party, and you're having a great time, and you just don't want the day to end. You're feeling so much love, and you're with family, and like Christmas, it's just a beautiful, beautiful time. Your vibration is higher in those times. Now, if you could think of a day, maybe a day at work that you did a presentation or something like that, and it just didn't go well, and you just feel heavy, weighted down. You probably have some negative self-talk going on. That is a lower vibration. And think of things as joy, happiness, gratitude, peace, love. All of those things are higher vibrational emotions. The lower vibrational emotions, which we're humans, we're going to have them, but recognize it. But those lower vibrational emotions are anger, frustration, impatience, judging others. So all these things kind of weigh us down. When you are more weighed down, you are less apt. It's going to be harder to connect to the higher source. The best thing to do is raise your vibration to meet, to connect. That doesn't mean something bad happens and you're feeling heavy and you're like, oh, well, I give up. I just can't connect because I'm so in this low place. No. But the more you work to raise your vibration, even if you are feeling these heavy emotions, the more you'll be able to connect. And there's some things you can do to raise your vibration if you are in that lower state. Singing, chanting, affirmations, repeating gratitude. All of these things are going to help raise your vibration up so that you can connect more easily. And when you are living in a state of a higher vibration, you're happy. It's a more blissful state. So I spoke before about retraining the brain, the egoic mind, so that you're saying more positive thoughts. You're thinking more positive thoughts. Because remember, thoughts are things, and thoughts can weigh us down. So here are some tips to help you kind of retrain that egoic brain that may have gotten a little sideways and a little negative, because we are human beings. Have grace with yourself. We live in a yin and yang world, a world of polarity, a world where we're going to have highs and we're going to have lows. But you have control. You have control over where you land. So to change your thought habits, be aware of your thoughts. And if you're thinking negative thoughts, learn to flip that script. That's one way. So you could just say the opposite. One thing that I say to myself is, because I like to hike and I get frustrated because I'm so slow. And I will begin getting a little aggravated and I'll tell myself, ugh, you're like the slowest hiker out here. And right down. Nope. Stop. I am so thankful that I'm out here hiking. My legs are strong. It doesn't matter how fast I go. And I'm happy hiking. That's just one example off the top of my head, but figure out a way to flip it. I didn't get this done in time. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm like so stupid. Why didn't I do this? Flip it. Okay. Here's the situation. This isn't done. Where am I at? What can I do? I am knowledgeable. I can get this done. I can communicate. And I'm not going to beat myself up for it because I'm only human. I can only do what I can do. I love myself and then just move on. So what you're doing is taking the story, you're changing the story from a negative point of view that's just going to take you down. It's not, I cannot tell you how many times that I've been thinking those thoughts while backpacking and fell. It's right then and there I fell. I was spiraling out of control. But when you flip the script and start telling yourself another story, well, yes, so this happened, or maybe it's just an untruth. I'm fat and disgusting is one thing that us ladies say to ourselves. No, I am beautiful and I'm perfect just the way I am. That is an example of positive self-talk. Flip it. Now, or if you're saying something negative to yourself, just say no. That's not true. No, I'm not a slow hiker. No. And that doesn't even matter. Disregard it, cancel it out, clear, cancel, delete, gone. That kind of thinking has no place in my brain. It doesn't help me at all. Another powerful way to help retrain your brain, retrain that negative ego, and to retrain your thought habits is meditation. Meditation is the magic. It is like when you go on a diet and you stop eating sugar. In the beginning, it's like really, really hard. And then the more that you do it, the easier it becomes. Well, it's the same thing with meditation. Once you begin and you are connected and you become more aware and you start getting more insights, you automatically, like magic, will decrease in your critical thinking of yourself, that negative self-talk. Because when you're meditating, first of all, you're living in a state of gratitude. If you listen to any of my meditation videos, gratitude has a place in meditation. If you're like, well, I'm not even going to meditate, well, sit in gratitude then, because that is powerful. But it is like magic, and it can change your thought habits. With practice, it has to be a daily practice. It doesn't have to be long, but it has to be a practice. So a lot of things can help you raise your vibration. I mentioned before, mantras, repeating the sound of the universe. singing whatever song you want to sing. You are my sunshine. Sing it to the top of your lungs. That will raise your vibration. Affirmations. I am perfect just as I am. I am peace. I am love. I am light. Gratitude. I am thankful for this day. I am thankful for my strong body that hikes up mountains. I am thankful for my family. Gratitude. If you're having a bad day, just stop and look around for all things to be grateful for and just start naming them. Even if it's as simple as, thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you that I have 5 fingers and 5 toes. Simple things, but live in gratitude. Other ways to raise your vibration. Dancing, movement, nature, going out in nature, hug a tree. It will raise your vibration. Sit with your toes in the grass or your toes in the sand. That will raise your vibration. Be in nature. Look up at the clouds. Yoga, mindful movement, and hugs. Just to name a few. So this brings us to the third key point to help you connect with your guides. And we're going to do a meditation at the end where we connect with our guides. But the third key point, it's such an important one, begin a meditation practice. So not only will meditation raise your vibration, it will improve your thought habits, but it will provide you with the space to connect with your guides. That's very important. And meditation need not be complicated. It is simple. Keep it simple. You're more apt to make it a habit if you keep it simple. Breathing, being, listening. And we're going to do just a little brief meditation practice right now to connect with your guides. So in the beginning, I always say a little, I'm not really worried about anything bad happening in meditation, but it's like it helps center me. It also puts my intention out. And this is a little opening prayer that I've developed over the years with the many trainings that I have attended over the years. So I'm going to say it for all of us here. You can take this, use it, adapt it as your own, come up with your own. You don't even need one, but I think it is a good thing to have to help you get into that space. In my opening prayer, I do use the word God. You can use source, divine, creator, whatever is your word for the divine light, the divine source. In my opening prayer, I'm going to say God. So you can insert whatever you want. Okay, go ahead and make yourself comfortable. You don't have to sit up straight and tall with no support. So go ahead and make sure you have a support for your back. Make sure you're comfortable. You can close your eyes and just let your hands rest gently in your lap, or you can bring them to your heart center. And I'm going to begin. We surround ourselves with a bubble of white light, God's love and light. Only those with the highest intention can communicate through us and to us. We are more than our bodies. We are beings of love. We are beings of light. We call on those whose experience and wisdom is greater than our own to guide us and protect us. And above all, we are thankful. Go ahead and take a full inhale and a full exhale. And continue the awareness of your breath. Just be. If any thoughts float by, just allow them to float on by, as if they're leaves floating on the water. Continue to be in your breath. Breathe a little deeper. Now, ask a question. A question might be, what do I need to know today? Or you might want to start off with something simple like a yes or no. Are my guides here? And then just wait. This is important. Don't think, just wait. Listen for an answer. It might be a thought. It may be a feeling. You may even see images or a vision. And if you're just beginning this practice, you may see or feel nothing at all, and that is completely normal. It may take a few times to make this connection or to hear this connection. The connection is there. It may take a few times to hear it or feel it or see it, whatever modality it may come to you. And it's different. It's different for everyone. And then we close with gratitude. Thank you for this connection to the divine. Thank you for this guidance that I'm receiving. I am peace. I am love. I am light. Thank you. If you heard or felt anything of a loving nature, loving words, a loving feeling, that is coming from your guides, your inner guidance, source. If you're getting a message that is unsettling, hurtful, or negative, that's your ego jumping in there. So go back to key point number 2, raise your vibration. And key point number 3, continue to meditate. Work on those thought habits. Tame that ego. Because the ego sometimes can be out of control. But persevere. When you have these thoughts, just go ahead and flip them. Persevere. You will hear from your guides with practice. It'll happen. Trust that it'll happen. I leave you with this. You are connected to Source, always. Become aware of this gift that is yours. Peace, love, and light. I'll see you next week.